Hi guys, we're going to be looking today at equations that involve fractions. And nobody likes fractions, so our goal is to get rid of fractions in the very first step. Okay, so this lesson is called clearing fractions, and so clearing means getting rid of them. Our goal is to get rid of fractions in the first step. So the way we do this is we multiply each term by the LCM of the denominators. This way the equation remains balanced. I'll explain what that means. So if you look at the first equation that's given to you, there's only one fraction. I look at the denominator. The denominator is 3. If I only have one denominator, my LCM, my least common multiple, is just that number, 3. What I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply every term by 3. So I'm going to multiply times 3, times 3, times 3, and times 3. Remember, each term is separated by a plus sign, a minus sign, or the equal sign. 3 times 1, underneath I write 3. What I'm going to do with the fraction is I'm going to divide the 3 that's on top that I just multiplied by divided by the denominator. And I'm going to write the answer next to the fraction. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And then that answer is going to get multiplied by what's still there. 1 times 2x is going to give me 2x. So I write minus 2x. I bring down my equal sign and I multiply the other terms. 3 times 11 is 33, and 3 times negative 6x is negative 18x. So what this does is, because I multiplied every term by the same number, and this is an equation, everything remains balanced, meaning the equation hasn't changed its value. And what it does, it gets rid of your fractions in the first step. So the idea is that the first line that you write should contain no fractions. All right, and then from here you just solve like a regular equation. So I'm going to get my x's onto the left side. I'm going to add 18x. I have 3 plus 16x equals 33. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. That gives me 16x equals 30. Now remember, just because the number doesn't divide evenly doesn't mean you did anything wrong. You just get x equals this fraction for your answer, 30 over 16. The only thing you have to remember is at the end to simplify. So 16 and 30 are both divisible by 2. So this ends up giving me 15 over 8. X equals 15 over 8. All right, we're going to take a look at another example. And this next example is going to have more fractions in it. So if you look at the next one, the first place I go is the denominators, 8, 4, and 2. We want to know what's the LCM, or the least common multiple of 8, 4, and 2. So the least common multiple is 8, because 8 divides into 8, 4 divides into 8, and 2 divides into 8 evenly. All right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply every term here by 8. I'm going to write times 8 above the fraction, times 8, and times 8. Don't forget to multiply the 5 also. That's a term. Every single term has to be multiplied by 8. So as I go through now with the fractions, I'm going to divide the top number 8 divided by the denominator. 8 divided by 8 is 1, and I'm going to multiply that answer by what's left. 1 times 3x is 3x. Same thing on the second fraction. I'm going to divide 8 divided by the bottom, 4. The answer is 2. I write the answer down and I multiply by the number that's already there. 2 times 3 is 6. I bring down my equal sign. I divide. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. I write the 4 down and I multiply it by 7x. That's 28x. And then the last term, there is no fraction, so I just multiply 8 times 5 minus 40. And that's the idea of clearing out fractions. You've gotten rid of the fractions in the first step. All right, so now I just solve like a regular equation. I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. That's going to give us 6 equals 25x minus 40. I'm going to add 40 on both sides. That's going to give me 46 equals 25x. And I'm going to divide both sides by 25. Again, don't worry if the number doesn't go in evenly. This fraction is your answer, 46 over 25. In this case, this can't be simplified because there are no common factors between 46 and 25. Like 5 goes into 25, but it doesn't go into 46. Okay, so try to follow these two examples and then work on homework numbers 1 through 4 using your notes. Okay, have a nice weekend.